Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us right here on The Right View. Tonight, we are joined by the most decorated freestyle motocross rider in X Games history, Brian Deegan. Brian, welcome to the show. I mean, that's quite an accolade to have. The people who have probably followed you for years, I'm sure know your story. For our audience, give us your story. That's a big deal. I read you left home at 17 years old to become a professional motocross rider. Tell me about your story. How did all this happen?
Yeah, so long story short, I grew up in a small town in Nebraska, and my dad was big into the education system. He was the superintendent of the school system. Wow. He wanted me to go to college. I got into racing dirt bikes because of my neighbor. He moved in from Europe, just so happened to race dirt bikes. And I was the little kid hanging out at his house watching him work on his dirt bike and just fell in love with it. And I begged my dad for a dirt bike. Dad said no. He never had anything to do with racing before. And then he said, you have to earn it. So I had to get a paper route and earn the money. And I earned the money to get my first dirt bike. And anyway, chase that passion. I knew that was my way out of Nebraska to see the world, and was able to make it out there at a young age and, win many championships from working hard. And I moved to California to race supercross and motocross, and did that for a few years in California. And then that's kind of when me and Travis Pastrana, Mike Metzger, a few big names that started freestyle motocross with X Games, we teamed up with X Games and created a sport of freestyle motocross. And we ran that for many years, helped build Action Sports. It was just a really cool time at that moment.
Wow. Well, first of all, I'm trying to view this as a parent. And like if somebody moves in next door to my house and all of a sudden one of my kids starts racing dirt bikes, I can only imagine like how horrified I would be. And I'm I'm into athletics of all varieties. I love that my kids are hopefully following in my footsteps. I'll tell you, my daughter just turned 4, and the week before her 4th birthday, she started riding her bike without training wheels. So I'm very proud of that, Brian.
That's a big deal. Those are big moments.
Yeah.
And I think as a parent, you care so much more about your kid's safety than yourself. And for me, I always risk my life to win events and create the sport and movement. And it's what really helped, build my career. And, but when my kids came about, with Haley being our first, she got her into car racing at a young age because I was at the car races, kind of was graduated from dirt bikes after many injuries, broken many bones, lost some organs, many surgeries. And people are probably like, why do you do it? But it's just such a passion for like wanting to innovate this sport and movement. You see how big Action Sports has gotten, and we were on the forefront of that. And so what I had, we had Haley. Really, Mom was the pushing force behind getting her a race car. And I was like, I don't know. She was kind of into arts and crafts, and I didn't see a racer in her. I just didn't at a young age, which is crazy because now she's the fastest girl in NASCAR. And I just didn't see it. Mom did. And then we, that was the first athlete. We really worked on that. And we have a lot of connections with, all the relationships through our sponsorships and partners, everything we've done in Action Sports. We're able to bring that into the car racing world. And Haley had, she's had a good run getting to NASCAR. So, and it is scary. When you watch your daughter go 200 miles per hour in a car, like a race car against all the guys that are usually trying to crash her. And like, it's scary. Yeah, it is. It's very hard as a parent, but I'm sure it's even harder for Mom.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, for sure. I think it's our parental instinct to want to protect our kids. Yeah. Your daughter is the fastest woman in NASCAR?
Yeah, so she went into NASCAR about 2-3 years ago into the Truck Series.
Yeah.
And she's still young, just turned 22. And so in NASCAR, there's guys racing into their 40s, 50s, still winning. So there's a long career there. And she just got into it. She's still learning. But yeah, I mean, that's probably self-proclaimed claim. But yeah, I would say she's the fastest girl in NASCAR. I don't think there is one faster. So I can claim that, I think.
Wow. All right. So we have your daughter in the NASCAR Truck Series at 22. Yeah. Your son Hayden is 17 and is also competing in motocross and was named Rookie of the Year this year. I mean, amazing. And your other son, Hudson, sort of seems to be following in these footsteps as well. You know, as a parent of two kids myself, and I'm always trying to figure out the way to, like, what the hook is to get my kids into something, because I feel like if you push too hard, Brian, sometimes they're like, no, no, no. How was it for you guys? You know, obviously they're watching their dad do all of this incredible stuff, and I'm sure coming with you to all of these events. Yeah. How did it work with your family?
Well, we had a jump park facility and tracks like at our house. So we bought this big ranch, and I used to build all the stuff. Like all the best guys for X Games would train at my house. So they grew up around it. We had race tracks there. Like I said, I grew up with as a kid in Nebraska, moved to California with nothing. It literally started with nothing, and went to California. I was like, my dream, and I wrote this as a little kid. I wrote it in a biography. I said, one day I want to own a big house in California, a nice car, you know, have these racetracks, win a Supercross, and all these things have come to fruition. But we had this massive facility at the house, and the kids just grew up around it. So I think they thought that was normal. I don't know if they really had any other choice. Like
that was it.
That was it. You know, that was it. So, but yeah, with the kids, you always want to find what they're passionate about, and a lot of times you just have to let them try many things.
Yeah.
And that's why I thought Haley, I didn't think she was going to be a racer. Like she was into arts and crafts, really liked hanging out with Grammy and like doing cooking and all the other stuff. And then when she got in a race car, I was like, whoa. She was like actually clicked and just really competitive and really good. So yeah, I guess you never know until you really try.
Yeah. Well, now speaking of being worried about your kids as a mom, maybe slightly more than as a dad, how has your wife dealt with all of this? Because look, she's got you, right? Dealing with, she's got to watch you go out and compete. I mean, you've talked about you broke bones. Yeah. I think you lost a kidney and injured your spleen. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I mean, and then she's got her kids now all going out and doing it. Maybe is it just commonplace? I would be probably a little freaked out.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, I raced since I was a little kid. I was pretty fortunate not to really have any major injuries until I went to freestyle motocross. And when I started backflipping.
Noted. No freestyle motocross.
Yeah. Once I started backflipping dirt bikes and 360s and all that is when all the injuries started to come. And we were the innovators of the sport. So by doing that was before foam pits and the airbags. And so we were doing that on dirt and concrete, and it was really a different era. And now the kids, and we said, Mom was like, the kids aren't racing. Like that was really our stance. Like I don't know what we're thinking, but
the second you say that, Brian, that's how you know they're going to do it. You're like, you know what? They're never going to do this. Then you probably just solidified that's going to happen.
Yeah. And I think at the end of the day, the most important thing I feel like when raising kids that, you know, champion kids or kids that, you know, have the drive, I feel like, you know, both parents have to be united on the same page. Yeah. And I feel like if mom or dad is the point of weakness to where, you know, the kids can run to them for you know, to cry on their shoulder, it's going to make it much more difficult to carry out the task of trying to build tough kids. And mom's tough. So, you know, they don't cry to mom.
Well, that's good.
And she'll send them back to me. Like so I think that's dynamic has really helped. She's always been, you know, really motivated to win. She you know, she likes working out, you know, athletic, has, you know, eats right, super healthy, actually helped me a lot with that. Her whole family's been organic and all, you know, I didn't grow up like that. I grew up on just junk. And so there's a lot of things she, you know, possessed that really helped the kids become who they are.
Well, it's so important. And I love that you talk about raising tough kids. And yep. I'll tell you, I'm trying to do the same thing. I feel like we're kind of losing a little bit of that these days. And I know I looked through your Instagram and you seem to have some kind of, I don't want to call them like motivational postings, but I guess that's what they are, where you just kind of like lay it out there. And I saw one where you were talking about how important it is for, you know, the man of the family, the father figure, to really step up and kind of take the lead and be the provider and protector. And I think it's so refreshing, Brian, to see that there are people out there reminding us of those things, because look, I'm all about every woman can do whatever she wants and be independent, but really there is something to how important the nuclear family is and how much a role I think that plays in raising great kids. And I love that you are really talking about it. Why did you start doing that? What motivated you to really go out? Because you actually say in your video, you're like, I'm going to go out on a limb here. It really shouldn't feel like that, but it kind of does these days.
I know, kind of weird, huh? Like,
yeah.
I grew up in a broken home. I grew up, we did a documentary, the Brian Deegan. It's called Bloodline. It's a story of our life coming up to the last few years, and it explains my family. I came from a broken home. My parents divorced when I was young. I stayed with my dad so I could continue to race. But I learned a lot from that. I learned that, like, why would my mom leave? Why, things that would make me think, like, and it was hard. It made me tough. It toughened me up and put me through a bad run in life for a while. I had to, overcome, and really it taught me a lot how important it is to have the father and the mother, united. And the father is the provider, the protector. And this is from the beginning of time. Like, this is the way things have been, have worked for the beginning of time. And for our family, it has worked really well. Mom is strong, dad, we try to lead and let the kids see that. The kids need to respect dad and respect mom, and that's it, and respect others. If they don't respect you, they're not going to respect other people either. So it all starts in the home. And I feel like, a lot of people are missing that. And yeah, we could get in a whole nother discussion on relationships, but we won't. But the importance of the nuclear family, it is the cloth of what what America is. Yeah. And I feel like we have to fight for it and keep that, and I feel like with that, we'll be safe. But we start dividing that. We need strong men in this country. You just need it. You just have to, and obviously we've all heard hard times, you need strong men, and we've had a lot of good times. It's been, there's been many eras of good times. And so, I want my kids, like I say, there's no guarantee I'll be here tomorrow. You never know what could happen. Like, so, especially in our careers, I want to know that my kids are strong and they can stand on their own 2 feet, and I feel like the fathers need to lead the household, and that's just the way I see it.
Well, it's interesting too, because if you look at the statistics, whenever you look at the children who come from homes where the fathers are absent, they are more likely to use drugs. They're more likely to abuse alcohol at an early age. They're more likely to drop out of school. They are more likely to have lower grades in general. Their life trajectory already from just the beginning starts off much tougher for them. And so I wish it was something we talked more about in this country, because really it feels like an epidemic of fatherlessness that has really taken root in our country. And it's so sad because it is so much harder for so many kids. And right now, I think we're kind of seeing a generation of kids who didn't grow up with fathers, come up and become adults. And it's going to be a lot tougher for them. So I love that you're out there really talking about these things and encouraging really all of us, I think, to do better and try harder. And I think it's very admirable. And it reminds all of us at times, nothing's easy, nothing's perfect, but we do. You said we got to fight for it. We have to fight for it. And and I love that you are doing that. So kudos to you. What's the response been to those videos?
I feel like it's been really strong. And, my whole goal with doing social media was really, to me, social media is a place where you can, say who you are. For me, promote our sponsors, our partners, and it's a media source. But as the years have gone on, I'm like, I'm just gonna start showing the things I believe in. Like, and like, I like to jog, I like to work out. I'm just gonna show this. Like, I don't know, maybe boring to people, I may not. And then when I go to the events, that there's thousands of people every weekend at these races we go to, and like I said, Hayden is the top in his sport right now. So the fan base at these Supercrosses, there's thousands of fans, and we do our YouTube channel, which draws more and more eyes. And I feel like there's so many people come up to me, middle-aged men, and go, man, what you say really motivates me. Like, I really appreciate that. Because there's times where I'm like, why am I doing, like, I don't know why I'm doing this, or like, should I just quit? Like, this, I don't know if this is really even worth it. Like, sometimes you just feel like turning off everything, right? You're just like, I'm just gonna.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to put yourself out there, and it makes you feel a little vulnerable when you really expose what you feel and who you are. But I think that's what connects with people. I think they can sense that. And how cool that you're getting that response from people. I'm sure it only encourages you to do more. And I want to hear really quickly, though, you talked about your YouTube channel just a second ago, the Deegans. Tell people about this. What can people expect as they tune in?
Yeah, so we started doing YouTube, man, it's been, many years. So we started when I think Hayden was around 10, 11 years old, which he's 17 now. So we've been doing it for a while, and the channel really started off as dirt bikes, just kind of following our racing scene. And then it morphed into more, I'm like, let's just talk about our family more, and not, we're not going to get super into detail of, private things, but I'm like, let's just show what we believe in, I always just kind of in the video, it says faith, family, freedom. Like that's about as simple as I can keep it. And, and that's kind of our what we stand for, or it is what we stand for in our YouTube. And it comes out through our family. Like we're not on there. Like it's more just, hey, this is how we live our life. And if you like it, cool, subscribe. If not, cool. But it's become very successful. And I think it's a lot of people watch it and are motivated by it, which I didn't know if I planned on that in the beginning, I just kind of want to show some dirt bikes, but now it's definitely morphing into something much bigger. So.
That's so great. I love it. I know you say like you're not showing like the intimate details of your life. I had what's this show on in the background? Oh, Chris Lee Knows Best. I, truth be told, have never even watched this show. It was on in the background in my house the other day, and I walked by, and they wanted people to believe that these folks let a camera crew in their bedroom as they're going to bed. I'm like, this is the most staged stuff I've ever seen. Yeah. Really? So note to self, we're not going to see you guys like getting in bed at night. You're not, it's so stupid that anybody even thinks that stuff is real. So yours is actually a reality show.
I think people nowadays are really picking, they can see what's fake and what's not. Now, everything's so, people can kind of sift through that pretty quick. And I think that's why so many people have been driven to YouTube, because mainly it is pretty real. It's not scripted. I feel like the scripted videos are a thing of the past. I think those, like the Vines and the things that used to be scripted are now, people don't want to see that anymore. They want to see the real stuff. So now, we have full-time filmers, editors. It's turned into quite the deal. Like we have guys that literally live with us, travel with us everywhere. So it's a commitment, but there's times too I've thought about just shutting it off and be like, I'm going to go focus on this or that. But I feel like we have such a movement of positive, I feel like there's so many thousands I just know of middle-aged men that come to me and are like, man, you really motivate me with what you're saying. And if that's the truth, then that's good. That motivates me to keep doing it, or us to keep doing it as a family. So I don't know, it's definitely grown into something pretty cool.
It's all worth it. If I feel like even if one person is encouraged to change their life in a positive way, then you're doing something that matters. And I think that's awesome. We should all try to do that. We should all try to make more positive moves in this world. My gosh, everything seems so crazy. I have to ask you though, what is more satisfying to you? All of your victories, because obviously you've had a lot as an athlete, or watching your children now accomplish things?
So that, to be honest,
it's a tough question, Brian.
It is a tough question, because I could easily just say, oh yeah, it's the kids, yeah. But when I came from a small town and worked so hard, and I defied all the odds of what's supposed to happen, and was able to win my first Supercross, win X Games, win rally card X Games after dirt bikes, win off-road championships. Those moments were just so satisfying because it worked so hard. Like everything for me has been about hard work. Like I just feel like that formula of hard work still works today. And it just, if you work really hard at something, you'll eventually get there. And I did that, and so it was so satisfying. So there's been a few points in my career that has just been so awesome. But now, like Haley, when she went and won her first NASCAR race or K&N race, we were like literally in tears. Like me and my wife, and then Hayden went out and won his first motocross race. The same thing. Like it's a weird, different emotion. Like when you see your kids, it's it's a different emotion. It's hard to compare them, but I would say at this stage of my life, I'd much rather see my kids win 100%. Like at this stage of my life, I never thought I'd be this guy though. Like when I was 20, like I went
None
through
of us do, Brian.
Time in my life. Like I went through a rough run for about 10 years. Like I said, my parents were divorced. I had this negative thing on me for a while till I finally was able to kind of break through that. And the kids and the family really helped flip the script. And it's been just a great run so many years since then. So it's been good.
I love it. Again, more positivity. It's so great. If people want to follow you on social media, they want to find the show, tell everybody where they can go.
Yeah, it's just on YouTube, it's The Deegans. It's pretty easy to find. And then on Instagram, it's just Brian Deegan 38. And same on Facebook. Everything's pretty much Brian Deegan or Brian Deegan 38. So if you can come check it out, it's like I said, we're a fun family. We definitely expose what we do and like try to show everyone, the fun in being a family and having structure and working hard and achieving goals. And we have good days, we have bad days. We have our good moments and bad moments. We have our highs and lows, and that's life, right? And I just hopefully what we can do is help people get away from glorifying negativity. Like, that's something like I just want to touch on the internet. I feel like it's really heady that way because they give people get a little more attention for negativity. I think we need to break that chain because really at the end of the day, I can't stand it. Like when people are at all negative, I just go the other way because I went through that phase in life. I just can't stand to be around it, and but anyway, I just feel like that's an uphill battle, but we need to keep fighting that fight.
It is, but you know what? It only takes one person sometimes to change people's mind and change their perspective on things. And so why not you? Why not your family? Maybe somebody listening to this might want to look at things a little differently after hearing you. And, I tell everybody go follow you because really the stuff you post is not only is it so cool, not only are you going to see people like flipping over, dirt bikes and doing crazy stuff like that. P.S. Before I let you go, I just think all the time I watch people do these crazy stunts, right? I was watching something the other day. They were flipping over snowmobiles, doing all that. And in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, the first person who was like, you know what? I'm just going to go try and like flip this thing over. As you were saying, when you first started, you kind of made the sport. You didn't have the foam pits and the big airbags. How did that go? Somebody was just like, you know what we should do? Just go really fast and hard, and then like this thing will flip over. I'm sure it didn't work out all the time.
No, it's actually like in that documentary Bloodline, it shows kind of the progression of the backflip. Like when we learned to backflip dirt bikes, like there was no soft landings. You're landing on dirt. So yeah, it was a commitment, but really the major commitment there was like one guy would do it and you kind of be like, okay, well that guy like the Pastrana or whoever is going to win everything from here on out. We're never going to beat that guy again. And it's the competitive nature to go, okay, let me break this down.
Yeah, then you got to do it.
Yes, you have to do it. You'll figure it out. Like it's not just close your eyes and go. Everything is pretty calculated.
Okay. Well, you're still here to talk about it despite your injuries. So we'll trust you. Brian Deegan, thank you for joining us here on The Right View. Good luck with everything. And keep posting your stuff. And like I said, everybody go check Brian out. I think you have really great content and very inspirational and encouraging. And man, do we need that now more than ever. So thank you. Good luck. And to everybody at home, as always, thank you for joining us here. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and follow. We'll see you back here next time for more of The Right View. So I'm like a lot of people. I love to wear an Apple Watch, but I hate how it looks. And I scoured the internet to search for the best looking Apple Watch cases I could find, and I found it. goldandcherry.com. They have absolutely beautiful watches, as you can see here. Everything is waterproof. Everything looks good with different outfits. You can get sporty, you can get fancy, but they are great quality, made out of Delaware in the United States of America. And they have been kind enough to give me a promo code that I can share with you if you want to get your hands on one of these as well. It's Larat, Larat is the promo code to get yourself a discount. at goldandcherry.com. And not only do they make Apple Watch cases, they also make great products for iPads and iPhones, keyboards, your desktop, everything you could possibly need. Goldandcherry.com. Use promo code LauraT so you can get yourself one of these today too. At The Right View, we're very proud of the fact that we are independent. We get to say everything that we think and everything that we feel. We have no woke companies guiding us or telling us what we can and cannot say. We are always going to shoot you straight and give you the facts as we know them. And that's why it's important to support independent outlets like The Right View. My name is Laura Trump, and I think Mike Lindell is a patriot. He is someone who loves this country, is willing to fight for this country. I love MyPillow because not only are MyPillows made in the USA by American workers, but they're great products, and they're so great that not only do I use them in my own bed at night, my children actually requested. My daughter the other day went to the closet and pulled out a MyPillow and said, "This is the pillow that I want to sleep with." And I gotta tell you, she loves it and will have nothing to do with any other pillow. So it's a big hit around our house. My dogs also happen to sleep on MyPillow dog beds. So all around the Trump household, we're big fans. If you go to MyPillow.com today and use promo code Trump, again, promo code Trump, you will not only save money, but you will help us continue this show and other shows like it and help us continue the fight for the future of America. Inflation has impacted all of our lives. I don't think anyone can go to the gas pump or the grocery store without noticing that it is a major factor. And unfortunately, it's not going anywhere. It doesn't seem like it's going down in the way that we would like it to. And one way to protect your money is by investing in precious metals, gold and silver. That's always been a great way to make sure that you keep your money and you keep it safe. When you go to bh-pm.com, use promo code Trump. That way, if you decide you want to invest in gold and silver, you'll save yourself a little bit of money. We live in a time that's very interesting. A lot of us out there feel like a lot of our rights are slipping away. And if you're like I am and you want to have the right to choose whether or not to have a vaccine, how to live your life freely, and you're looking for a great doctor, I've heard amazing things about Dr. Sherwood. He's somebody who you should really check out and check into, and it'll help support this program and keep us going. So go to Sherwood.tv and use promo code Trump. Again, Sherwood.tv and use promo code Trump. You can save yourself some money and help us keep our program going.